Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Village of Bolingbrook Board of Trustees regular meeting for May 28th, 2024. At this time, I'd like to ask Laura Voss to come forward. Did she leave? Come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You moved.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Certainly, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Trustee Zarate. Here. Trustee Quintero. Here. Trustee Kelly. Here. Trustee Lawler.
Here.
Trustee Doris.
Here.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Here.
I am standing in on behalf of Mayor Mary Alexander Basta. She is not able to be here tonight. So next is approval of minutes. Do we have any changes? Oh, no, minutes. Do we? I asked for a motion to approve minutes of the regular meeting on May 14th, 2024. So moved.
Second.
Motion Trustee Carpenzano, second Trustee Quintero. Any questions or changes after review of the minutes? Okay, hearing none. All of those in favor of approving the minutes of May 14th, 2024?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next, we have approval of the agenda. Village Attorney Zarzor, do you have any changes for the
No
agenda?
changes to the agenda. However, I do have a statement that I want to say on behalf of our mayor.
Okay, very good.
Thank
We'll
you.
do that at the appropriate time. Motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion Trustee Carpenzano, second Trustee Doris. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have no approval of appointments, boards, or commissions. We go to reports of officers. Just want to start out with a comment. Yesterday was a very solemn day in the village of Bolingbrook. We acknowledged and celebrated Memorial Day. Originally, Decoration Day started back in the 1860s after the Civil War. And I want to acknowledge John Davin and his team from VFW Post 5917, American Legion Post 1288, and Sons of the American Legion Squadron 1288 for their assistance in putting the program together. I also want to acknowledge Marty Barton, Village Clerk Marty Barton and her team for helping in production of the programs and assisting with the materials for during the program for reading of the names. I want to also acknowledge the Historic Commission. They were at Boardman Cemetery, starting with the program at 9 a.m., and they were around for most of the day. It's one of the 2 days. Boardman Cemetery is the original cemetery for the settlers back in the early 1800s, and they were there giving out information about the cemetery. And then the Beautification Commission for putting together the wreath that was presented at the 11 a.m. service. What happens on Memorial Day is that we visit the Boardman Cemetery first. And as I mentioned, it is the, if you get a chance to visit, you twice a year, yesterday or Halloween, you can go visit and see the gravestones of the settlers from the area back in 1832 when this area was settled, became Barber's Corner and then Bolingbrook. Hillcrest Cemetery is next to Fire Station 3. We were there at 10 a.m. And some think that that's a more active, well, it is an active cemetery, but it's more current. Actually, the first person buried at that cemetery was in 1835. I found out yesterday. So that is managed by the village, and then we come to Village Hall 11 a.m. for the service. And what's a little bit different about the service from Memorial Day in Bolingbrook is that we allow families to have names read. We first acknowledge those who died in defense of the country, died during service, while they're on active duty, and we also allow families to add to a list of family members who served and are no longer with us. So that program ended up being 22 pages of names, or 21 and a half pages of names, but it's wonderful to acknowledge those who served and are no longer with us. So I just wanted to thank everyone involved with that. It was a great day for the different services, and I think it's very important to acknowledge those who have served, the sacrifices they made along with their families. And we do that on Memorial Day, and we acknowledge the living veterans on Veterans Day in November. Now we have proclamations. The first proclamation is for the Bolingbrook Lions Club Beep Baseball Bash, June 8th through June 9th, 2024. I'll ask Kai Walgren to come up along with Laura Voss, and I see several of my fellow Lions members in the back. Just in the interest of transparency, I was able to celebrate my 25th year as a Lion in the past month or two. Laura reminded me to come to the meeting. I don't get to many, but I was presented with a 25-year pin. So I'll read the proclamation, and we'll have a few comments. And this is in honor of Bolingbrook Lions Beep Baseball Tournament, which is Saturday, June 8th through Sunday, June 9th, 2024. Whereas the Village of Bolingbrook is extremely pleased and honored to have been chosen as the host community for the annual Bolingbrook Lions Beep Baseball Tournament. And whereas the Bolingbrook Lions Club was established on November 3rd, 1966 to support those with vision and hearing impairments as the primary focus. And the National Beep Baseball Association was organized in the United States in 1976 for adults with visual impairments to play baseball. And whereas each year the MBBA coordinates local, state, and regional tournaments, among them the Indy Invitational in Indianapolis, Indiana, and the Bolingbrook Beep Ball Bash, one of the first tournaments to offer a cash award to participants, and that's outside Chicago, Illinois, hence Bolingbrook, Illinois. And whereas on Saturday, June 8th through Sunday, June 9th, the Bolingbrook Lions Club will host the 2024 Bolingbrook Beep Baseball Bash at Bolingbrook's Recreational and Aquatic Center in the fields on the south end of the property, with teams including the Chicago Comets, the Cleveland Scrappers, the Indy Thunder, the Indy Edge, Gateway Archers, Austin Blackhawks, and Bayou City Heat. And whereas the Village of Bolingbrook proudly supports the Bolingbrook Lions Club and welcomes all of the teams participating in this year's tournament, now therefore I, Michael T. Lawler, on behalf of Mayor Mary Alexander Basta, Mayor of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Bolingbrook, Will and DuPage Counties, Illinois, do hereby proclaim Bolingbrook Beep Baseball Bash this weekend and urge all our residents to join me in extending a warm welcome to all in attendance and our best wishes for a successful and enjoyable tournament. There you go.
Thank you.
One more over here.
Do you mind if I hand out flyers?
Please do.
Want to use this one?
You may.
All right. I'll be brief. Thank you, Trustee Lawler. And first, on behalf of the Bolingbrook Lions Club and the Beep Baseball Committee, I want to thank the Village of Bolingbrook and the committee members here today for their support of the Beep Baseball Bash each and every year. This year, the Beep Baseball Bash will be held on, say that fast 3 times.
My fault, I screwed it up
Will be
first.
held on June 8th and June 9th at the fields outside of Pelican Harbor, like Mike said, outside the BRAC. The event is free to watch, so I want to invite the whole community to come out and watch, see these amazing athletes do what they do. So I just want you just to consider or imagine yourself or other athletes being blindfolded and playing a baseball game where you have to rely on just your hearing to do that. So it's incredible to watch. These athletes are spectacular, and they do a phenomenal job of just, I can't even imagine just hitting the ball, let alone then sprinting, 50 feet to a base and tackling it, basically. So it's really cool to see, so I want to invite everybody to come out and watch. Like Mike said, too, the teams participating this year, again, are Chicago Comets, our home team, the Cleveland Scrappers, the Indy Thunder, the Indy Edge, the Gateway Archers, the Austin Blackhawks, and the Bayou City Heat. So, again, thank you to the village for your support. We appreciate it and hope to see all you out there. Oh, you want me to do that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And this is just a summary of the proclamation. But over 20 years ago, the Bolingbrook Lions Club hosted its first Beep Baseball Bash, which consisted of only 2 teams. Since that, the Lions have worked selflessly. Thank you. I was going to say selfishly with the Park District and the village to grow this tournament into a 2-day event consisting of 8 teams from around the United States. The goal has not changed: to provide an event where these visually challenged athletes can complete and showcase their skills. Continued success lies in the hands of our donors. The Lions hope to encourage you all to not only to attend, but to support the Beep Baseball Bash with your donations. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on getting through that, Kai.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. One quick note, it is amazing to see the talent that these athletes have. And a bit of the operation, we actually held, I was involved 20 years ago maybe. We held it on the front lawn of Village Hall. And those of us who had sight were provided blinders and played the game. And it was fascinating. They earned my undying admiration. The athletes who learn it, they get up there, they take a 12-inch softball and have a device that they start beeping. They throw the ball not at the batter, but at home plate, and the batter hits it, and the goal is, and then one or the other, first or third base, has a target there that's beeping in a different tone to have them run toward. And as long as they get and tackle that base before someone gets a hold of the ball, then that's a run scored. So it's a fascinating game. It has been featured on Comcast and some interesting shows. So we're proud to have it here, and thank you for being here. All right, our next proclamation. Elena, how are you? We've got a bunch of folks. Elena, this is a proclamation for LGBTQ+ Pride Month, June 2024. My good friend Elena Humphreys and a wonderful group of supporters for that organization. Good idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to read the proclamation here and then carry the microphone over. This is a proclamation for LGBTQ+ Pride Month, June 2024. Whereas the Village of Bolingbrook recognizes the intrinsic value and inherent dignity of all individuals, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. And whereas the Village of Bolingbrook boasts a rich tapestry of diversity comprising individuals from various cultural, ethnic, and social backgrounds. And whereas within this diverse community, LGBTQ+ individuals contribute their unique perspectives, talents, and experiences, enriching the fabric of our society. And whereas LGBTQ+ Pride Month serves as an occasion to honor the diversity within Bolingbrook, celebrating the myriad identities and voices that collectively make our community vibrant and inclusive. And whereas recognizing LGBTQ+ Pride Month underscores our commitment to embracing and celebrating the full spectrum of human identity and expression present within our community. Whereas by acknowledging the intersectionality of identities, Bolingbrook reaffirms its dedication to fostering a culture of acceptance, respect, and appreciation for all individuals. Now, therefore, I, Michael T. Lawler, Deputy Mayor, Village Trustee of the Village of Bolingbrook, representing Mayor Mary Alexander Basta, Mayor of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Bolingbrook, Will and DuPage Counties, do hereby proclaim the month of June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month in the Village of Bolingbrook, highlighting and celebrating the diversity that strengthens our community and encourage our residents to reflect on the ongoing struggle for equality that the LGBTQ+ community faces and celebrate their contributions that enhance our village. All right. Now, my good friend Elena, I want to present this to Elena and the group. I'm going to do this.
All right, here we go. Come on in. Here we go. Are we all in?
All in. I got you. Everybody look straight ahead.
Everybody look at the guy in the blue shirt.
Then the opera shirt.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Bolingbrook Pride, I wanted to thank you for once again making that commitment to affirm the identities of those people here in our town. I also want to invite everyone to a couple of upcoming activities that we have. Tomorrow night at Tailgaters, we're doing a karaoke fundraiser, which is going to be super lot of fun. It's not the best voice that wins, but the one who raises the most money, because votes are by donation dollars. So it's super fun. That's at 6:30 over at Tailgaters. And then on June 1st at 8 a.m., we are proudly raising the pride flag over Village Hall for the day. And we would love for you to come and see that. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And just as a reminder, I think we're doing it out front here. And this circle, which has directions to all of our sister cities, is used as well to celebrate other significant historical moments in the world. So it's a proper place to do the flag raising. Thank you all for being here, and we're going to have a great month. Thank you so much. All right, at this time, I want to check and see if there is anyone in the crowd who has any public comments regarding agenda items only. We'll have a space for comments on anything not covered on the agenda later tonight. Is there anyone in the audience? Okay. And then, Madam Clerk, do we have anybody who has comments regarding any agenda items?
No, Mr. Deputy Mayor, we did not.
Okay. And the other important thing to make note, we have a form here and in the back for anyone who wishes to speak to the board. We want to have you as part of the official record. So these forms need to be filled out, and you just hand them to the clerk when you come up to speak later in the meeting. But I'll come back and announce about that. Leave this up here. Continuing with the agenda, the reports of officers. Just to help the folks who were here, it's not going to hurt us if you decide you want to take off. We've got several items of business tonight. You're welcome to stay. There's lots of interesting topics to be voted on, but we won't feel bad if you leave. All right, so we'll continue with reports of officers. For staff, we have bill approval. Bill listing A, $1,203,667.44. Bill listing B, $758,341.69. That's a total of $1,962,009.13. May I have a motion to approve the bill for payment?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Quintero, second trustee Doris. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Quintero,
Yes.
Trustee Zarate,
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano,
Yes.
Trustee Doris,
Yes.
Trustee Kelly,
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes. Motion carries. Next, we have tax receipts, March 2024 state income tax. It's $1,978,235.72, which is an 11.2% increase from a year ago. February 2024 sales tax, we took in $2,993,980.58, a 4.7% decrease from a year ago. And we have March 2024 motor fuel tax, $241,575.70, which is a 5.1% increase from a year ago. We also have the state administrative fee. The state charges the village, each town in Illinois, a fee to collect the taxes and then distribute those to the towns. And for February 2024, the state administrative fee is $23,693.03. Next, we're on to the consent agenda. We have several motions to be included in this consent agenda, and the purpose of the consent agenda is that all of these items will be read through and covered in a reading, and then they will be voted on all at once by the trustees. First consent agenda item is a motion to accept a low bid number 24-02 from Davis Concrete Company in the amount of $521,500 for the 2024-2025 motor fuel tax sidewalk program. There were 3 requests for proposal sent out, 3 bids received. The amount budgeted is $700,000. The low bid is $178,500 under budget. This was reviewed and approved, recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. Motion number 2 is a motion to accept low bid number 24-03 from Superior Road Striping Incorporated in the amount of $145,000 for the 2024-2025 motor fuel tax pavement marking program. RFPs were sent out, 4 bids were received. The amount budgeted is $200,000. The low bid is $55,000 under budget. This is reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. This is for all the striping that's done on the roads. Next, motion 3 is to accept the low bid number 24-04 from Schrader Asphalt Services, Inc. in the amount of $5,020,465.43 for the 2024-2025 motor fuel tax resurfacing contract. RFPs were sent out, 4 bids were received. The amount budgeted is $6 million. The low bid is $979,534.57 under budget. This as well was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. Motion number 4 is to accept the low bid number 24-05 from SKC Construction, Inc. in the amount of $191,192.50 for the 2024-2025 motor fuel tax crack filling program. RFPs were sent out and 2 bids were received. The amount budgeted is $300,000. The low bid is $108,807.50 under budget. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. The last motion on the consent agenda is to accept the low bid, that's motion 5, to accept the low bid 24-06 for Traffic Control Corporation in the amount of $47,336 for the 2024-2025 MFT streetlight pole material purchase. RFPs were sent out.
If you can alert them that they can pull any item they want to be voted on.
Yep, good. RFPs were sent out, 2 bids were received. The amount budgeted is $80,000. The low bid is $32,664 under budget. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. One other thing about the consent agenda is that the trustees have the opportunity to pull anything from the consent agenda, and we'll deal with it later on in the agenda. Is there any interest in doing so? Okay. I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as walked through.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Carpenzano, second trustee Kelly. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Deputy Mayor, Trustee Carpenzano,
Yes.
Trustee Doris,
Yes.
Trustee Lawler,
Yes.
Trustee Quintero,
Yes.
Trustee Zarate,
Yes.
Trustee Kelly.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we're on to resolutions. And the first resolution is 24R-034, approving renewal of the wireless fire alarm system service agreement with Johnson Controls. This is a renewal of the existing maintenance contract. The term goes from May 22nd, 2024 to May 22nd, 2029. The cost is $79,578.82, under budget by $881.38. These wireless fire alarm systems are made available to businesses in town and managed or supported by the fire department. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Safety Committee. Any questions, comments? Okay. I'll ask for a motion to approve Resolution 24R-034.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Kelly, second trustee Doris. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Mayor. Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes,
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
motion carries. Next resolution is 24R-035, approving the purchase of a Zamboni cylindrical floor scrubber from Factory Cleaning Equipment Incorporated. This is a capital budget item approved in the fiscal year 24-25 budget. The cost is $30,756. This is a replacement of a 23-year-old machine. Keeps the facility, garage floors, and mechanic bays clean and properly maintained in the Public Services Building. And this was reviewed and approved by the recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. Any questions on this? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24R-035.
So moved.
Motion trustee Quintero.
Second.
Second trustee Carpenzano. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Next is Resolution 24R-036, approving a study by the Suburban Laboratories Incorporated related to daily collection, processing, and analyses of samples at treatment facilities 1, 2, and 3. These are in different parts of town. The village has been using Suburban Labs for over 20 years. It provides daily analysis and analyzes the village's samples required by the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. And this cost is, for this agreement is $165,000. It was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. Any questions, comments? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24R-037. 036, sorry. Got ahead of myself.
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Doris, second trustee Carpenzano. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next is Resolution 24R-037, approving the purchase of chlorine and sodium metabisulfite from Alexander Chemical Corporation. This agreement provides chemicals to keep the treatment plants in compliance with the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. The cost is $50,000, and this was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. Any questions on this? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24R-037.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Kelly, second trustee Quintero. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next is a Resolution 24R-038, approving purchase of Clariflock C-6267 and Clariflock C-6286 from Polydyne Incorporated as a sole vendor. This agreement provides a village polymer for separating water from solids during processing operations. The cost is $75,000. This was as well reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. Any questions on this? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to Motion to approve Resolution 24-038.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Quintero, second trustee Doris. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution 24R-039, approving a proposal from Synagro Technologies Incorporated for hauling biosolids from the wastewater treatment plants. This covers treatment plant facilities 1, 2, and 3 in different parts of town. The village contract auto-renewed on 5/1/2024, May 1st, 2024. This contract and this service is required by the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. The cost increase is due to a new law regarding prevailing wages, and the contract amount is $942,000. And this was also reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services Committee. Any questions on this? May I have a motion to approve Resolution 24R-039?
So moved.
Motion trustee Carpenzano, second trustee Doris. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes, motion carries. Next is something a little bit brighter. It's Resolution 24R-040, approving purchase of decorative lights for the 2024-2025 winter season from Menards in Bolingbrook. This covers 4,000 strands of holiday lights that go up on the medians in different parts of Bolingbrook to brighten the festive time of year. They're pure white 284-5010. That's the model number. Quantity of 3,000, and model number 284-5034, we're going to be purchasing 1,000. As I mentioned, they're decorating the trees along the village medians. The cost of $40,000. And it's nice to see that a local business is assisting us with this. This was recommended and reviewed by the Public Services, recommended for approval by Public Services and Development Committee. Any questions on this? Okay, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve Resolution 24R-040?
So moved.
Motion trustee Carpenzano, second trustee Zarate. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next is Resolution 24R-041, which is accepting public improvements in the Liberty Green subdivision, Units 1 and 2, from Pulte Home Company LLC, subject to attorney approval. This is a standard practice with any home development. In this case, there are 155 homes on 51 acres zoned R3 residential. Homeowners Association has been established, and the outlots have been deeded to the HOA. Improvements, as part of the process, the building process, have been inspected and approved. Upon acceptance, the construction guarantee for all of those infrastructure improvements will be replaced with a 1-year warranty bond. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. Any questions on this? Okay, entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24R-041.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Quintero, second trustee Doris. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next is Resolution 24R-042, approving a proposal from Orange Crush LLC for paving the roadway behind Town Center, including the stage area, as well as seal coating and restriping of the police department parking lot. The last area of asphalt pavement has not recently been resurfaced. So there are 2010 square yards of hot mix asphalt removal and replacement necessary for this project, less than half the cost of the price submitted by McGill Construction Company. The cost is $51,187.50. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Public Services and Development Committee. So this is the area behind Village Hall where a lot of activities go on throughout the throughout the entire year. And so this resurfaces and also gets striping for better clarification in the police parking lot. Any questions on this? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24R-042.
So moved.
Motion trustee Kelly,
Second.
second trustee Carpenzano. Have a roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Next is another fun one, Resolution 24R-043. This is approving agreement with RKM Fireworks Incorporated for the July 4th fireworks display, subject to attorney approval. And this is the annual event held at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. The cost for the fireworks is $60,000. This contract was reviewed and approved by relevant village personnel. Any questions on the contract or on this item? Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24R-043.
So moved.
Motion trustee Quintero,
Second.
second trustee Zoris. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Next is Resolution 24R-044, approving renewal of a contract between the Village of Bolingbrook and GAD Group Technology, Inc. for consultant contractor services. This contract ended April 30th, 2024, and a new contract period is May 1, 2024 to April 30th, 2025. These are for services, consulting contractor services for municipal business and technical advisory services. 2 full-time consultants will be on site for help desk and technical support for police and Village Hall. The cost is $265,000, which is $15,000 under the budgeted amount. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Finance Committee. Any questions on this? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a resolution motion to approve Resolution 24R-044.
So moved.
Motion trustee Kelly,
Second.
second trustee Zarate. Have a roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Next is Resolution 24R-045, approving renewal of license and maintenance with Granicus for FOIA platform services. Freedom of Information Act is the full statement there. Granicus was formerly known as GovQA, and the license has expired. The renewal of this annual license for the FOIA, clearance letters, and citizen request platform is being requested. The budget amount was $25,000, and the total cost is $3,400.01 under budget. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Finance Committee. Any questions or comments regarding this item? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24R-045.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Quintero, second trustee Carpenzano. Have a roll call vote, please.
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Doris?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Quintero?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, 13th and last resolution for this evening is 24R-046, approving renewal of agreement with Sophos Security Suite Licensing, VAR Technology Finance. This is purchased through CDWG, or Computer Discount Warehouse G, which is a technology vendor. This is licensing for email and antivirus software. It's a 3-year contract with VAR Technologies, and this is budgeted for $32,000, and it's $7,760.87 under budget. This is also reviewed and approved by the Finance Committee. Any questions on this? This helps keep us safe with all of our efforts for cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
This is also where, if you ever email us and you're wondering where it went, sometimes it's held up in our SOFOs. So you gotta call us and nudge us to let it release. And it seems like it's a joke, but sometimes it gets held up depending on if you're using a old Hotmail address or something weird, it'll sometimes get hung up in our SOFOs, so.
Oh, there's no explanation as to why it happens, we just know it happens.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because we get the notices from Sophos to
Release
review,
them.
and sometimes we don't.
Yes.
So, but anyway, it's very important for cybersecurity. If you haven't paid attention to, society, cybersecurity is getting more and more important, so we want to protect the village. And we appreciate the efforts of our CIO and his team in making sure that happens. All right, motion to approve Resolution 24R-046.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion trustee Carpenzano, second trustee Doris, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Deputy Mayor, Trustee Kelly,
Yes.
Trustee Quintero,
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano,
Yes.
Trustee Doris,
Yes.
Trustee Lawler,
Yes.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have ordinances. We have one ordinance, 24-025, amending certain provisions of Chapters 2 and 10 of the Bolingbrook Village Code. This is an amendment to Chapter 2, which allows the board to appoint an independent contractor as village engineer. Amendments to Chapter 10 are extensive, and they're aimed to building and construction codes to make sure they are up to date with national standards and other relevant standards, and in compliance with recent changes in the law and industry standards. This is reviewed by all relevant personnel and officials. Any questions on this? This is housekeeping, but it's very important housekeeping. All right, with hearing none, I'll ask for a motion for approval of ordinance 24-025.
So moved.
Motion trustee Quintero,
Second.
second trustee Carpenzano. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Deputy Mayor, Trustee Doris,
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano,
Yes.
Trustee Zarate,
Yes.
Trustee Lawler,
Yes.
Trustee Quintero,
Yes.
Trustee Kelly.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have public comments. I just want to remind, this is covered on the agenda, as part of the agenda, but anyone wishing to speak under public comments, general, must adhere to the following guidelines. In addition to filling out the form, please announce your name and address before commenting. All comments are limited to 3 minutes, and each citizen will only be permitted to speak once. And at this meeting, the village board meeting, all speakers must address their comments to the mayor or myself as a designee for this meeting. With that, before we get into asking the clerk for any documents that she received prior to the meeting, I'll ask our village attorney to read the statement on behalf of Mayor Mary Alexander Basta.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This is a statement regarding private events at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. In light of some concerns shared with the village regarding certain planned private events scheduled to be held at the Bolingbrook Golf Club, it is important that all members of the public are aware that the village of Bolingbrook does not endorse, promote, share, or otherwise affiliate with any group's mission, beliefs, philosophy, or politics. The village implements its own policies and procedures to ensure a welcoming and diverse residential community and workplace. Bolingbrook will always respect our village's incredible diversity as well as the uniqueness of every individual. The Bolingbrook Golf Club is a publicly owned facility. The village of Bolingbrook is legally bound to protect the people's freedom of speech. The village cannot choose which speech it likes and which speech it does not. When a private group seeks to rent space at the golf club for an event, if the group meets the general criteria for hosting an event, the village cannot deny the space's use because it does not agree with a group's message. The village's actions will always prioritize the safety of participants and members of the public first. and protect the constitutional rights of all individuals without regard to the views expressed by any group. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'll ask our village clerk if we have any comments that were sent to your office prior to the meeting.
Yes, Deputy Mayor, we have 5 comments that came through where they asked for their comments to be included in this evening's minutes. I will read them in no particular order, and I do want to apologize in advance if I mispronounce somebody's name. This is from Freya Nar. She says, "Hello, I'm glad to hear that there's a recognition of Pride Month on the agenda for the upcoming meeting, and that I will unfortunately not be able to attend. However, my top concern right now is that we recently received word of a hate group setting up an event at the Bolingbrook Golf Club on June 5th. Among the sponsors of the event are an array of hate groups, and the event has panelists who have spoken at many other events, such as the, quote, Rally to End Child Mutilation. The Southern Poverty Law Center has pages detailing some of these groups, Moms for Liberty. There is a link for the summit that they held last year, Awake Illinois, Illinois Family Institute, and Chloe Cole. The village is no place for such hate, and with the rise of far-right extremist violence, these people will be actively making me and other queer people in Bolingbrook unsafe. Take a stand and do all we can do to stop this group from coming to our town. Additionally, we must make sure such a group is not able to return. We must take a look at our policies for our facilities around letting groups that could cause harm and threaten the safety of our nearby residents. Please include my email in the upcoming meeting notes and let me know what you plan to do about this issue. Best wishes, Freya Nar." This was asked, this is to the village board by Matthew Taylor. "I hope you're aware of, and if you are not, now you are, that there are hate groups currently scheduled to hold an event at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. This needs to be stopped. Someone I know spoke with the GM last week regarding this, and he had no idea what those organizations were. They asked if the KKK would be welcome there, and apparently he said no. Yes, people have freedom of speech, but hate groups should not feel welcome to host their events and meetings in our town. Sure, we all have freedom of speech. When that speech targets a specific group of people that are marginalized, demonized, othered, and also, frankly, when that speech soaks hate and fear toward the aforementioned group of people, that's where the line needs to be drawn. I'm proud of your town called for a ceasefire, and I hope you continue to make us proud by getting that event canceled. Hate has no home in Bolingbrook." And then there's a number of the same links that are included. "Take a stand and do all you can to stop this group from coming to our town. Additionally, we must make sure such a group is not able to return. We must take a look at our policies for our facilities around letting groups that could cause harm and threaten the safety of our nearby residents. Please include my email in the upcoming meeting notes and let me know what you plan to do about this issue." That is Matthew Taylor. This message was forwarded to me. This is from Reem Townsend. "Hi Marty, please pass my message below to the village board. There are hate groups and extremist organizations scheduled to hold an event at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. I spoke with the GM last week regarding this, and he had no idea what those organizations were. I asked if the KKK would be welcome there, and he said no. This is no different. I understand that people have freedom of speech, but hate groups should not feel welcome to host their events and meetings in our town. Bolingbrook is a diverse town, which is what brought my family here. I'm proud to be part of a town that called for a ceasefire, and I hope you continue to make me proud by getting that event canceled. Hate has no home in Bolingbrook." And there is a list of those same events and their links. "Take a stand and do all you can to stop this group from coming to our town. Additionally, we must make sure such a group is not able to return. We must take a look at our policies for our facilities around letting groups that could cause harm and threaten the safety of our nearby residents. Please include my email in the upcoming meeting notes." Is that one? And we have one from Hannah Frank Hernandez. "Dear Mayor and trustees, it has come to my attention that hate groups and extremist organizations are planning to hold an anti-LGBTQ+ event at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Allowing an event like this is unacceptable and embarrassing for our community. I moved my family to Bolingbrook because I believed it to be diverse and inclusive. Still, lately, I've experienced and heard things that have me questioning how true that is, and an event like this being held on village property leaves me even more unsure. While I respect freedom of speech, hate groups should not feel welcome to host their events in our town. These extremists may only be passing through our community, but their hateful rhetoric and false narratives will remain and will compromise the safety of and fracture trust with our LGBTQ+ neighbors. I urge you to stand up for our LGBTQ+ community, speak out against hate, and cancel this event. Make it clear that hate has no place in Bolingbrook. She lists the Southern Poverty Law Center and the links to the same groups that were mentioned before. Furthermore, we should review our policies to ensure such groups cannot book our facilities in the future, safeguarding our residents. Please include my email in the meeting notes and inform me of the planned actions regarding this matter. And the final one received in advance is from Kat Nar. And she says, "Dear Mayor, Mary Alexander Boster and the board, I am Kat Nar and I'm writing as a queer Bolingbrook resident. When my wife and I decided to move to Bolingbrook, we asked around to gauge if Bolingbrook would be a welcoming community for us as individuals and part of the LGBTQIA+ community. We decided to move here because we received positive responses. We love living in Bolingbrook, we love our welcoming neighbors and the wonderful pride events in our community, and we love living in a diverse city that has made the important decision to call for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. However, I was disturbed to hear that this transphobic detransition panel sponsored by known hate groups and extremist groups is coming to Bolingbrook, hosted on village property no less. I understand that you may not have known about this harmful event, and if that is the case, it is all the more urgent to take action now. I ask you to promptly cancel this event on village property in order to prevent these extremist groups from spreading hate in our community and exposing marginalized Bolingbrook residents to potential danger. Hatred and bigotry of any kind has no place in our community. The organizations behind this event include known hate and extremist groups such as Moms for Liberty and Awake Illinois, which are queerphobic, transphobic, and racist groups that work to ban books and censor school curriculum while propagating dangerous, hateful rhetoric that can incite real-world violence and harm against the LGBTQIA+ community and communities of color. These organizations are associated with other hate groups such as Proud Boys and Gays Against Groomers. I do not consent to the Village of Bolingbrook using my tax dollars to give these hateful groups a platform to spread bigotry and fundraise for their propaganda at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Please include this message in tonight's meeting notes. I hope you will take immediate action to cancel this event, protect our marginalized communities here in Bolingbrook, and send a strong message that Bolingbrook stands against hate, especially ahead of Pride Month. Please also make sure that hate and extremist groups are not able to host events at village facilities in the future by reviewing and updating village policies. Solidarity requires not only supportive words, but real action and policy change. Thank you for listening to our community here in Bolingbrook. I appreciate your leadership and hope that you will continue to stand with the diverse communities that make up our town. And that's from Kat Nar, Deputy Mayor. Yes.
Okay, thank you for reading those into the record. Just one more reminder, if you've come in since we started the meeting, if you haven't filled out an informational form for the clerk to have your correct name in the record, please do so. In the interest of maybe not wearing people out, but we're going to have you come up one at a time. You can stay in your seats and then come up as needed. And the clerk has a number of slips already filled out, so why don't you go ahead and start with those.
Okay, the first one we'll call to the lectern is Peter Kozak Rivera.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Peter Kozak Rivera. June is Pride Month, a time to celebrate the diversity and resilience of the LGBTQ community. However, it has come to my attention that the Bolingbrook Golf Club, a village property, is scheduled to host a so-called detransitioning conference that promotes the vicious and discredited practice of conversion therapy. This practice, which aims to change an individual's sexual orientation or gender identity, has been widely condemned by medical and psychological professionals as both harmful and ineffective. This event is sponsored by no less than 3 organizations designated as hate or extremist groups by the Southern Poverty Law Center, not some random organization. It is an organization renowned for its role in dismantling hate groups such as the Ku Klux Klan in the 1960s and 70s. One such hate group involved in this event, the Illinois Family Institute, has a clear mission rooted in intolerance. Their former director infamously stated, "We need to find ways to bring back shame to those practicing homosexual behavior." That is hate. While I respect the First Amendment rights of these groups to express their views on the sidewalk or in the park, I vehemently oppose our village lending its implicit support by hosting their event in a village property. Let me be clear about the nature of their message. The director of school advocacy for the Illinois Family Institute once stated, "There is something profoundly good for society about prior stigmatization of homosexual practice. They weren't acquiring and raising children." This statement perpetuates the dangerous blood libel that we are a threat to your children. But we are your children. We are your neighbors, your friends, and your family. I asked the board for 3 specific actions: to do whatever is within the village's legal power to prevent this event from occurring on village property and to reject their hate unequivocally. Would you or would you not allow the KKK to have an event at Bolingbrook Golf Club? To implement policies that will prevent such embarrassments from happening in the future, and to commit to being more proactive in protecting Bolingbrook's minority communities from hatred and discrimination. I will conclude with a chilling quote from a Moms for Liberty newsletter, which borrowed words from none other than Adolf Hitler. "He alone who owns the youth gains the future." These hate groups, these groomers, are revealing their true intentions. They know that their ideology must be indoctrinated into children to survive. Let us send a clear message here in Bolingbrook. Their indoctrination and hate are not welcome. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for your comment.
Our second person commenting is Gerardo Rivera.
All right. My name is Gerardo Rivera. I'm here to voice my opposition to the hosting of a conversion therapy conference in our community. As a member of the LGBTQ+ community, I feel compelled to share my experiences and concerns regarding this harmful practice. I came out at 18 to my Roman Catholic parents. While their initial reaction was challenging, the unwavering support from my friends and knowing that my community stood by me was crucial for my journey into adulthood. It is this sense of community support that empowers individuals to move forward with confidence and hope. One of my very best friends from college came out to me last year as gender non-binary. They faced immense difficulty navigating the complexities of acceptance and the uncertainty of tolerance from both their family and their community. Their experience is a stark reminder of the ongoing struggles faced by many in the LGBTQ+ community. Personally, I've had reprehensible encounters with groups like the Westboro Baptist Church, both as a shooting survivor and as a gay man. I've also lost friends to suicide and witnessed firsthand the destructive impact of hate and intolerance. Groups like Illinois Family Institute and Moms for Liberty perpetuate dangerous misconceptions about our lives. They fail to recognize that the LGBTQ+ community is diverse, compromising of individuals from every background, including Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, and atheist. These extremist groups do not represent us or our struggles. I was fortunate enough not to endure the horrors of conversion therapy, but I know many who are not as lucky. Conversion therapy has been discredited and proven to be not only ineffective, but also deeply harmful. Sexual identity and orientation are intrinsic aspects of our genetic makeup and cannot be altered or repaired. Those who claim to uphold Christian family values often forget one crucial element. God's love is inclusive. He creates each person with individual, unique differences that would be celebrated, not condemned or abhorred. Allowing intolerance to penetrate the fabric of our community's welcoming values undermines the progress we've made. The LGBTQ+ community has fought tirelessly for acceptance and equality. We've come so far, and we must continue to move forward, not backwards. By rejecting this conference, Bolingbrook can demonstrate that it stands for love, acceptance, and the well-being of all of its residents. I hope that my community will love me back and uphold the inclusive values that make us strong. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Our third speaker is Deanna Tedder.
Good evening, and thank you for letting me speak tonight. I'm here to talk about the event that's going to be held at the Bolingbrook Golf Club on June 5th by an anti-gay, anti-trans group called Partners for Ethical Care. This group is associated with many other groups who have engaged in anti-gay behavior, such as backing book bans that would prevent books containing LGBTQIA storylines. This group and the many others they are associated with intentionally name their organizations in a way that deceives the public, so we aren't aware of their intentions. So I will share what their intentions are. They are anti-gay. They do not believe in trans identity. They do not believe in any identity aside from cisgender. They believe that those who support their trans children are being harmful and guilty of child abuse when giving their children the ability to live in the way that they feel most comfortable. As a mother of two, I've worked hard to let my children know that they are loved and accepted, whatever identities they hold. As a taxpayer, I want to live in a town that sends the same message. That is why I'm asking the village to look into this event and ask the organization to find another venue, one that is not owned and operated by our village and by our tax dollars. Bolingbrook has proclaimed that all are loved and all are welcome. Tonight we announce a proclamation saying just that. Please support that proclamation by asking this hate group to go somewhere else.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who has not registered with the clerk who wishes to speak? Elena, here, I can do that.
Hello. Most of you know me pretty well. I have written a letter to the mayor, and I say, as you know, I have been a very involved and concerned citizen of our town for over 19 years, and I am greatly invested in how inclusive and welcoming Bolingbrook has been. I often call myself Bolingbrook's biggest fan, and it's for those reasons that I moved here. I'm writing to express my grave concerns about this upcoming event entitled The Next Chapter, a panel discussion of detransitioners. This title is misleading. I won't go through, in my letter here I have listed all of these groups that are supporting it that have been identified as hate groups. These organizations are widely recognized for their anti-LGBTQ+ and particularly anti-transgender stances, which conflict with credible and established medical opinions. Their views do not reflect those of the majority of Americans or our local communities, including leading medical institutions in Chicago and across the United States. The information and protocols promoted by these groups are often based on limited or anecdotal evidence that misrepresents the experiences of the LGBTQ community and disregards extensive, credible medical research. Their purported aim to protect children masks a politically motivated agenda that ultimately seeks to deny appropriate medical care to transgender individuals. This is particularly harmful to trans youth, an already very vulnerable group, as denying them responsible health care increases the risk of self-harm and suicide. The actions and rhetoric of these organizations directly harm children and undermine the well-being of the LGBTQ+ community. These organizations and individuals are not trying to identify and remediate a system that failed for a few. They are trying to deny appropriate medical care to everyone. The Village of Bolingbrook has demonstrated commendable support for the LGBTQ+ community through initiatives such as today's Pride Proclamation, the third one, the Bolingbrook Pride Picnic that they help support, and allowing these groups to use a public facility to promote their hateful agenda is inconsistent with the values and inclusive image our community strives to uphold. Events like this cause LGBTQ plus individuals to feel unsafe in our town. Allowing them shows other hate groups that they are welcome to congregate in our city and gives people the wrong impression of what we stand for. Public spaces should be used to support and uplift this community, not to spread personal hatred and misinformation about transitioning. Events like this cause irreparable harm to our residents. We urge you to revoke permission for this event to be held at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Doing so will reaffirm Bolingbrook's commitment to supporting all its residents, particularly those in the LGBTQ plus community, and prevent the dissemination of harmful misinformation. Thank you for your attention to this very urgent matter.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Allison Wold. Most of you know me. I came up to say good things about the village and their support of the LGBTQ community. I have been an ally forever, and a parent to a trans child. And like all this about the group that's coming, it's scary. It's really scary to hear the hate. We have personally experienced, the self-harm, thoughts of suicide, because coming out at age 12 as a trans youth isn't what people want to hear. It's uncomfortable for most. Honestly, it is. It was uncomfortable for us at first because as an ally, I was like, not my child. So, as a person of the village, a member of the community, I appreciate the village's support. We've had to have police involved because she's gotten threats. And so the police have been very welcoming and helpful. There is an SRO at her middle school who has taken him under his wing, and it's been wonderful to see the warmth that has been received. And very, very, very scary to see the hate from people who don't understand. Thank you so much for being inclusive.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome. And I had not planned on talking. I was just here for the proclamation. So thank you for letting me speak.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. Who is next that would like to speak? Thank you.
I've heard about this hate group coming to Bolingbrook. I don't particularly stand for it, but my attention is going to be shifted onto a different cause, a cause for the kids, for the future of Bolingbrook, the future of this town. As a 35-year resident of this town, it's shocking to see how much it's grown. It really has been a place to grow. But for us to grow, we need to have a little bit more empathy for our queer youth, which is why for the summer, there is, through Youth Outlook, going to be 6 different meetings every other Thursday, starting from the second week of June to like the last week of August. You can go to youth-outlook.org and see what kids need as far as like a firm standing of that they are accepted. It's something that I wish that Bolingbrook had when I was growing up. Again, did K through 12 here in the Bolingbrook Valley View schools, and in 7th grade, my father had passed away, and so I never really got a chance to have like a proper coming out to both my parents. But I could definitely say that if I had these resources growing up, I think I would have been less bullied, or would have had like a safe space and not have to like worry about being called the plethora of slurs from people who, quite frankly, shouldn't be saying them in the first place. But overall, Youth Outlook is going to be a great thing for the summer, and we're looking to make it a little bit longer, but right now we're just going to do a summer trial here in Bolingbrook, and I can't tell you where they're going to be at, but I can tell you that it's going to be greatly needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kat Nahr, and I am a queer Bolingbrook resident.
I'm sorry. We think we read your statement in earlier. Is there something?
Yes, there was something I wanted to add. Is
Okay.
that okay?
I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Just in the interest of
Yes.
making sure that everyone has an opportunity. If you've got something different to say, please go ahead.
Yes. So I'm a queer Bolingbrook resident, and I want to specifically address the village's response that was just shared here tonight. I want to emphasize that this is hate platformed on village property, as speakers have shared, and as a queer person, as somebody who has multiple trans loved ones, I really want to say that like allowing this hatred to be platformed on village property does directly put people like me, like my wife, like the queer and trans, especially children and youth in our community, in danger, especially our trans youth, by bringing hate to our neighborhood. So like in this moment, we do not want excuses, we want action. To choose to deflect and say that there is nothing that can be done is unacceptable. To put our trans youth in harm's way is unacceptable. And I ask the village board to do everything possible to prevent this event from being held on village property in the spirit of the proclamation that was shared tonight, because a proclamation that does not have action behind it does not mean anything, because solidarity requires real action. Solidarity requires standing with the community, even when it's hard, even when it means taking risks, and it means changing policies to protect our communities. So I ask you to do everything possible and to review and update village policies to ensure that that hate groups cannot host events on village facilities in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. And your statement was read in as well. Is there something
There's
different?
more, yeah.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Reem Townsend. I'm here to voice my opinion against the anti-LGBTQ event taking place at the Bolingbrook Golf Club next month, in Pride Month. Although it may seem like an event to hear another side of what trans people may experience, similar to the names of the groups behind this, it's misleading. Moms for Liberty, Illinois Family Institute, Awake, all of these groups have names that make it appear like something they're not. They seem proud to be American, they seem family-oriented. But in fact, these groups are very openly anti-LGBTQ. They're anti-government, they're anti-Muslim, and they're racist. They are all extremist hate groups. It's easy to recognize the hater in a white sheet and pointy hat for what they are. It's the wolf in sheep's clothing that's harder to identify. The founder of one of these groups tried to ban mosques from New York City. Leaders of these groups claim pride events are just ways to groom children. The purpose of their event is to promote the harmful practice of conversion therapy. I don't want to go over all of the details as to why these groups are problematic. Other people have said it. It's all over their social media, very easy to Google, and the Southern Poverty Law Center has an in-depth analysis of these groups. I do want to talk about what we should tolerate and differences of opinions. We can be tolerant of a different opinion on tax brackets or where our taxes should go. We can have differing opinions on what's better, toters or bags. We shouldn't be tolerant of hateful and racist groups and rhetoric. We shouldn't let groups like these feel comfortable to host events in our village. The largest community that these hate groups target are the LGBTQ plus group. The village just read a proclamation, "You will raise a flag in solidarity." Now it's time for this board to show solidarity in a more meaningful way. I understand the village doesn't approve events at the golf club, but the village does own it. And with that ownership comes responsibility. Responsibility not to allow hate groups of any kind to have a place in our home. If the KKK tried to host an event here, we wouldn't allow it. That's a hate group. These are hate groups. This should be treated the same. I'm asking the village board to do what they can, privately and publicly, to speak against these hate groups that are coming to our town on June 5th and holding an event at a facility that our tax dollars pay for. Do more than say everyone has a right to freedom of speech. I'm asking the board to use your influence and get the event canceled. And I'm asking the village board to be proactive in the future and update their criteria so hate groups cannot qualify to hold space here. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak this evening? All right, thank you all for your comments. This time we'll proceed with trustee comments and reports. Trustee Zarate, if you would, please start.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I would like to announce, I know this is in July, but I want to promote this because I sit on the board and I think this is a wonderful program for our kids out there. It is going to be July 11th on a Thursday. It's Heart Haven Outreach, H2O, Raising Hope, golf outing, and gala dinner at the Bolingbrook Golf Club at 2001 Rodeo Drive. It starts at 11 a.m. Registration is at 12:15. Shotgun is at 5:30. Social hours and 6:30 dinner. Thank you. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Trustee Zarate. A few upcoming notes. I don't know if Deputy Mayor Lawler is going to talk about the upcoming Village concert series, but I have been asked to read some announcements regarding the Promenade Bolingbrook's concert series on Thursday evenings. They are starting, just a note, a week after the Village starts its series. So June 13th is the first Thursday night concert series at the Promenade Bolingbrook. It runs through August 29th. Concerts at the Promenade on Thursday start at 7 o'clock and run until 9 o'clock. The first concert is Jimmy Holmes, which I think is an Elvis tribute artist. And there'll also be a street market that'll be hosted on the 13th of June, beginning at 4 o'clock in Bolingbrook. Just a note to everyone who emailed ahead of time and came out to speak this evening. As I've said to many of you who've spoken before, this is important. Elena, I did not give you a heads up, so I don't want to do this from the dais, but I would appreciate a conversation, and it's something that I wouldn't say here publicly. I just didn't tell Elena that I would do this, so I don't want to put her on the spot either. But I do want to say what was read this evening, and Elena and this group has been here before, is something that's not performative in nature, as sometimes it's accused to be of. And it's something that, at least speaking from myself in this seat and not speaking on behalf of the village, is something that I live for. I want my family to grow up in this community for all of its reasons, frankly, for all of its diversity, education, faith, culture, a million reasons why I also chose Bolingbrook. That being said, sometimes we make decisions that we also get a lot of heat for. Hosting events that sometimes people disagree with is not always easy, but I will tell you, what we stand for and what Deputy Mayor Lawler read and Mayor Mary would have read it this evening is genuine. And again, I speak for myself, and I'm assuming anyone else can speak for themselves. And we don't say that just to put it in 12-point Times New Roman font. So I would enjoy the opportunity, Elena, to just chat with you about some things that I think we can, and then I'd be happy to share a conversation to anyone else who's interested afterwards. I'm not trying to be secretive here, but there are some things that I think we should chat about just to make sure we understand how we really do. This is not a facade, at least in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Just a few save the dates for upcoming events ending this month and coming into the next month. First one on the radar is Focus Gala. FOCUOS Gala is celebrating 5 years of empowerment change at their second Focus Annual Gala. This is a special occasion where we come together, celebrate incredible achievements and the impact of Focus in the youth over the past 5 years. A time to honor, dedicate, and to highlight volunteers and the resilience of the participants that have been a part of this group. So a few details on the Focus Gala. It'll be taking place Thursday, May 30th. Time is 6 to 9, and the location is at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Tickets are $65, and there are opportunities to continue to sponsor. If you need more information, you can visit focus.org, FOCUOS.org. Another save the date. The Village of Bolingbrook is hosting the 10th annual Juneteenth celebration this year. That'll be, and we're hoping in time for the renovations to be all set on June 15th. The time, if you are interested in attending, is from 12 to 9 p.m. Now, really want to highlight Juneteenth because there's a lot of, I guess, confusion about what Juneteenth is, what Juneteenth stands for, and our goal is to really educate, define, and inform what this stands for. So we invite all. We want to diversify this event. We want to diversify thought. So come out. We have live entertainment, kids activities, food and refreshments, tons of resources that we'll have. So again, right here at Village Hall, 365 West Briarcliff Road. If you need more information, you can email vobjuneteenth@bolingbrook.com. I've been very hands-on with this event planning, as well as our CIO, James Farrell. So if you're a business or an organization that wants to come out and celebrate with us, you can also send us a personal email as well. So everyone here that's in attendance and stayed, thank you for taking the time out of your night. It's really just an opportunity to hear a voice if you don't get to communicate with the trustees outside of here. So I do want to, give a huge shout out for, Trustee Carpenzano opening that door. But we are all open, and we all are open to conversation and learning. So that's my biggest thing: learning, educating myself, so we can educate others. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Doris. I wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight as well and voicing your opinions. I know it's not always easy, so we appreciate you coming out tonight. I wanted to remind everyone the Cavalcade of Plains is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, June 1st and 2nd, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can get tickets online, but that's this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kelly. Just a quick reminder, Bolingbrook Lions Club, they are holding the Beat Baseball Bash 2024. It is June 8th and 9th at the BRAC, 200 Lindsay Lane. They are still looking for sponsors, so if anybody's interested in sponsoring, visit bolingbrooklions.org. I've had the pleasure of attending a couple of the games and volunteering. They are amazing, talented athletes. It's very competitive, and it's a great time for the family while supporting a very, very nice organization. Secondly, Coffee with the Chiefs will be at Fire Station 4 on Boughton Road. That's right in front of Jewel and Target. It will be June 11th, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is a great opportunity to come and chat and ask questions directly instead of utilizing Facebook to inquire about any particular subject. So if you can make it, please come and join us, June 11th, 2024. And to everybody that came here to speak, thank you for coming and having your voice heard. I appreciate your passion and all your emails regarding the subject matter. Thank you.
Thank you. One other,
Hey, Mayor, I'd just like to say something, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry, being the first one that had to speak, I was very emotional. Everybody who came out, thank you. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have family members as well, and I love them. They are my family. I can't look at them any differently. And that's how we were brought up. And I just want to say thank you so much. You are making us more aware of things that, you know, unfortunately, we don't know a lot about it. We hear, we see, you know, I love the fact that you guys are doing this. And you know what? That's freedom of speech. That's why it's there. So I just want to say I apologize that I didn't say anything, but it was really emotional. But thank you so much. And we welcome, you know, hearing what you have to say. Thank you for coming out.
thank you. I mentioned it earlier, but thanks to everyone for coming out and for sending us information or messages. Trustee Doris alluded to it. As you were traveling through town this afternoon, this evening, there's been some weather for several days. That affects the facilities behind Village Hall. If you haven't noticed, there's a major renovation going through with the replacement of the wall around what's historically known as Lake Betty, but is the pond, and also affects events that are being held back there. So be ready for shifting schedules. Some have already done so. And so I want to, for folks who do not know, the Relay for Life, which was scheduled for this Saturday, has been moved to June 22nd, same time, and they use the facility, and the Relay for Life is to promote awareness and support for cancer victims and cancer survivors. So that event has been moved from June 1st to June 22nd. And next June 5th, we'll start the concerts behind Village Hall. We'll hope for the best, but rain, you know, you can't build things if rain is taking away the ground underneath it, so it makes it a challenge. So I want to give thanks to everybody involved in trying to get the project done. It is beautiful when it's done, so, but the Village concerts do start a week earlier than the Promenade concerts on Wednesday from 7:30 to 9 on the Hill. And look for information from the Village if that schedule has to change. And so we have no executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Quintero, second trustee Carpenzano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.